Chapter 1980. For the Man in the Dark. Zhang Yi's eyes were sharp, but his frowns soon relaxed. You all know it. He spread his hands, looking helpless. But I didn't expect to keep this kind of thing a secret for long. It's really hard for you to come all the way here to die. After hearing this, Pokong raised his head and laughed as if he had heard a big joke. You are really crazy. Look carefully. The forces of our two civilizations are now joining forces just to catch you and get the secrets of the Ihin tribe from you. You actually said we are here to die? He pointed at his nose. Although he was wearing a mask, it can be imagined that his expression at this time must be very interesting. Who do you think you are? For huge sea beasts and the aliens of the Wulwan Empire surrounded Zhang Yi and others. According to preliminary estimates, there must be 3 aliens at the bishop level. On Zhang Yi's side, he is the only one with the bishop-level combat power. Moreover, the opponent was well prepared for this encirclement and suppression operation, which put Zhang Yi and others in a disadvantageous situation. No matter how you look at it, it is difficult for them to get through this difficult time. The most troublesome thing is that in this world, Zhang Yi's space shuttle cannot take him to a safe area. The situation is very bad. Kant smiled triumphantly and said, You'd better surrender. He pointed at Zhang Yi and sneered, You guys have good talents and good luck. Most of you have broken through to the 5th life level and have a good value of becoming biological puppets. As long as you surrender, we can consider retaining some self-awareness for you and let you be slaves. Zhang Yi said nothing, but a black vortex appeared in his right eye. Kant was still laughing, but the next moment, his head was like a wrinkled painting being compressed by someone, and it was squeezed and exploded with a bang. Bright red blood splashed with white brain matter and bones. He was not far from Pokong, but there was no sign of this move, and even Pokong's eyes were fixed. It seems that you really got a lot of benefits from it, and your strength has improved very quickly. Resisting stubbornly is not a wise choice. Then, I will teach you a lesson first. He waved his right arm. Except for this kid named Zhang, kill everyone else. I want him to watch his companions die, because of his stupidity. 6 silver-armored generals lined up in a row, and powerful superpowers emerged from their bodies, turning into an amazing storm. At the same time, the 4 huge sea beasts also approached Zhang Yi and others. Wind and thunder surged on the electric eel's body, and the electric current caused a large number of silver snakes to run on the ocean. A blood-colored magic knife appeared in Zhang Yi's right hand, and a huge hand cannon was held in his left hand. After watching the excitement for so long, it's time for you to show up. Zhang Yi shouted loudly to the people around him. The next moment, a pink light suddenly appeared from the weak water abyss in the distance, and it whipped the electric eel that was accumulating power with a terrifying storm. Snap! With a crisp sound, the giant electric eel hundreds of meters high was violently whipped out, soaring thousands of meters from the seawater and then crashing into the distant sea. The sudden change shocked everyone. What? Pokong looked in astonishment at the other direction of the weak water abyss. They did not expect that there were other people hiding here. But who is it? Who can hide under the weak water abyss like the fish people? The sea beasts of the fish people roared angrily. They looked in the direction of the surging sea water and knew who was coming. The people around Zhang Yi also showed strange colors on their faces. From beginning to end, most of them were in a state of confusion. Now, they don't know what the situation is. But looking at Zhang Yi's face, he clearly knows everything that happened. Don't be surprised. Zhang Yi smiled and said to everyone, When someone attacked me secretly, someone else helped me block the fatal blow. At that time, I felt that the breath was very familiar. It was because of their connection with me that I suspected that Khan had a problem. Zhang Yi looked at the deep sea, where a huge vortex appeared and a dark object slowly appeared. It was a very huge turtle, and its black shell was like an indestructible fortress. When they saw the big turtle appear, Zhou Kuer and others couldn't help shouting, Xuanwu. That's right, it was not someone else who appeared here, but Xuanwu from the East China Sea region. When everyone saw Xuanwu appear here, They showed surprise and incredible expressions in their eyes. The surprise was because they had helpers. Xuanwu must have come here to help them. But they were also surprised because they didn't remember seeing Xuanwu when they came. Moreover, Xuanwu would not go ashore easily, so how did he get here? Soon, they saw other familiar figures. On the back of Xuanwu, the hatch opened, and the figures of Zhu Ke and Li Changgong also appeared there, looking at Zhang Yi and others with a very mysterious expression. Li Changgong looked at Zhang Yi, with 2 long swords hanging on his waist, his hands already on the hilts, ready to fight at any time. Zhang Yi recalled that time. The sneak attack on him was cut off by a familiar force in the middle. At that time, he had suspected that this power was too similar to Li Changgong's I am God's will. Because only Li Changgong's ability can ignore all defenses and cut off everything in the material world. It is a very heaven-defying ability. Even facing a strong man whose strength exceeds him by a lot, it can be cut off with one knife. But later, what made Zhang Yi really sure that this person was Li Changgong was that he had contacted Zhang Yi in the middle. Zhang Yi looked at Li Changgong and others and smiled. I didn't expect that you would come here too. But it seems that you came by water, right? The Devil's Eye was once a kingdom that sank to the bottom of the sea. Although it has now become a desert, it is also connected to the sea below. Needless to say, Xuanwu and others arrived here from the sea. Seeing that Zhang Yi had no expression of surprise, even Yang Xinxin began to be curious. Brother, when did you get in touch? Zhang Yi glanced at the cute little girl, then looked at Kant who was killed in the distance and said lightly, We have been in touch for a long time. Not long after we entered the Devil's Eye. To be precise, it was after he was attacked. Li Changgong intervened to break through the fatal blow. Chapter 1985 The Cost of the Killer. Li Changgong and his team saw everything in secret. But at that time, they did not choose to show up because they could not judge the situation clearly. However, Li Changgong discovered that a special person like Khan appeared in Zhang Yi's team and realized that something was wrong, so he secretly contacted Zhang Yi. Therefore, Zhang Yi suspected Kant. The smartest person is still Yang Xinxin. She only felt that someone in the team was wrong through logical analysis. So, after entering the Death Highway, she took the initiative to choose to sit on the back seat of Zhang Yi's motorcycle just to communicate with him about this matter. It's really God's arrangement to be able to meet here, Li Changgong said to Zhang Yi and others with a smile. Zhang Yi nodded. That's right, but we are lucky to meet each other. Otherwise, everyone should face a lot of trouble. As he said, Zhang Yi looked at Pokong. If I'm not mistaken, you entered this world one step earlier than us. So it was you who alarmed the ghost leader here, which led to us being attacked, right? Although Pokong was a little annoyed by the sudden appearance of Xuanwu and others, he felt much calmer when he saw their faces clearly, and even a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. A few inferior guys. Even if they become your helpers, what can they do? They will not affect the war here at all. Defeat or surrender and become slaves are your only 2 outcomes. But since you asked, I can also tell you generously. Pokong folded his arms across his chest and looked at them coldly. The sleeping druk giant god is also our prey. Our ancestors participated in the sealing of them 200 million years ago, and also left a warning to our descendants. These guys cannot be allowed to come out. Moreover, if they can be successfully sealed, there will be huge gains. Just the little energy they emit in their sleep is our endless treasure. Zhang Yi nodded. Sure enough, I think so too. But what he wants to get is, undoubtedly, a bigger treasure. Of course, he will not tell Pokong. And Pokong told him that it was just Pokong who thought they could not turn the tables. The sea beasts of Atlantis looked at Xuanwu and others with ferocious eyes. The giant electric eel roared astonishingly, and the blue horns on his head condensed into terrifying lightning, aiming at the direction of Xuanwu and bursting out ball lightning directly. A dark blue lightning ball suddenly exploded, shooting towards the entire sea area where Xuanwu was, and after falling into the sea area where Xuanwu was, it spread out ball lightning like a ball-shaped cage spreading from a core. The black, weak water ocean was roaring, and lightning was everywhere. Facing such an attack, Xuanwu was not idle either. He opened his bloody mouth and could clearly see a thick gun barrel extending from the depths of his throat. The energy condensed in the throat, turned into a dark blue ball of light, and then gushed out. Shuangguang Cannon. The light beam collided with the lightning, and the two huge energies annihilated each other with great momentum. Above the sea, the power that Xuanwu could burst out was close to the bishop level. And Zhang Yi clearly felt that compared with the previous meeting, Xuanwu's power had actually increased to a very high level. Now his ability index has reached at least 28,000 points. It seems that he also had some adventures in the deep sea. The electric eel did not take any advantage. The other sea beasts actually showed a playful look in their eyes. Their huge bodies swam in the seawater, fanning to surround Xuanwu. A prey with an ability index of 28,000 points is also a huge tonic for them. Pokong sneered at Zhang Yi and said, "Your helper will also become someone else's prey." Zhang Yi looked at Pokong coldly. Really? He never thought that he was a smart person and that others were idiots. He would not think that just relying on the strength of the three people of Xuanwu, he dared to go deep into the abyss of weak water and enter the evil land of the Devil's Eye. So, although it is not clear why they came, they must have something to rely on. When Zhang Yi thought so, in the sea area around Xuanwu, the seawater quickly surged up, and three huge hill-like figures emerged from the sea. A gray-blue giant octopus with many large holes on its head would make an unpleasant whistle with the wind. A sea beast that was pink all over and much larger than an octopus, with every muscle as strong as steel bars, turned out to be a mutated giant starfish. However, the one in the front was a huge yellow sponge. Their appearance made the Atlanteans stop their movements, and their eyes flashed with surprise and disgust. "Why are you guys here?" They turned out to be old acquaintances. A mouth appeared on the surface of the sea. "Do you want to start a war?" "I'm ready." The Atlanteans encountered three sea monsters that suddenly appeared, and they showed a look of fear. Zhang Yi didn't know who they were, but looking at the appearance of Li Changgong, Xuanwu, and others, these sea monsters should be the helpers they found. For the time being, Zhang Yi didn't need to worry about the safety of Li Changgong and others. We will talk about how things happen later, and now. Zhang Yi looked at Pokong in the distance. "You are right. This space cannot be escaped, so now is the time to settle the grudges between me and you." Zhang Yi's eyes were filled with naked murderous intent. The Wulwan Empire invaded Tianhai City and turned it into a scorched earth. Millions of soldiers and people of my Huashu kingdom were killed. The population of my Tianhai City has also lost 1/3 because of you. For many days, I have never forgotten this hatred. Unexpectedly, before I went to seek revenge on you, you set a trap to harm me again. Pokong, remember this. Sooner or later, I will make your entire Wulwan Empire completely disappear from this planet, leaving no one alive. As he spoke, he raised the magic knife in his hand and pointed it at Pokong. Today, I will start killing you first. The situation on the scene was beyond Pokong's control. He did not expect that there would be forces from the Deep Sea Clan to appear and disrupt their layout. But even so, he was not afraid of Zhang Yi's provocation. Pokong sneered. "Kill me? Are you still asleep? Who do you think I am?" Pokong raised his right arm, and a handle appeared from the battle armor on his palm, and then a blazing white beam of light emerged from the handle. Dear viewers, thanks for staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.